Hello, Zach. Hey, TJ. Uh, Isn't it just the way I put up a schedule last night saying that I'm not going to stream on the weekend? I'm going to stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and here I am. But I did say I could do random ones. I left myself some leeway for random. This one's not going to be horribly long. So, Zach, I did swap out Lacey. I did take her to work and put her back. Poor little girl. Even if I had changed my mind, I wouldn't have been able to relocate her because there were so many in there that looked like her. But I did bring home I out of all of the mishmash of littles that was in there, one of them stood out to me because she is the tiniest little thing. In fact, I have some formula in a lid here that she's liking. I swear by her size, she's not quite. I feel like she's like barely 3 weeks old. Yes, I brought home another one. I feel like she's barely 3 weeks old. So I'm giving her some formula supplement. Um, I don't know if I want to use Lacey as her name or if I want to do something different. I don't know. Mittens crossed my mind because she's all black and she's got two front white feet. She's also got a white belly. But here, I'll show you too. She is tiny, tiny, tiny. And see her white feet? She's got little white feet. She's got a white belly. She is so stinking cute and so little. So little. Like, this is beyond baby face. I feel like she has not been running around with sight and hearing for very long. She is very small. So small, in fact, that she's not that scared of me. Like, she's so little that she'll just chill with me. She's just so stinking cute. I don't know if I want to keep the name Lacey or if I want to go with something different. Yeah, so I have this formula here and she really likes it. There she goes drinking it again. So I don't have to syringe it to her. I'll just put it in something that she can drink it herself. Give her some high protein stuff, and I feel like she shouldn't be weaned yet. That's why I want to give her the supplement. I feel like she technically should still be with her mom. So, yeah, she's she was smaller than any of them there. Like, there are a lot of small ones in there. Small like the ones I'd brought home in previous, but I think she is the smallest yet. Yes, there are a lot of bigger ones. They're not a lot bigger than her, but there are bigger ones. Um, there are still some that are very small, but I feel like she was the smallest. So she's who I picked. Because originally I was gonna go with the same pattern as Lacey, but I saw her and I just couldn't resist. So, oh, I'm keeping them. I'm keeping them as pets. I keep them as pets. When I brought Lexi home, she was very small. She wasn't this small, but she was very small, and now she's the biggest rat I have. She's probably about 3 months old now. Yeah, she is so super tiny. She doesn't wander very far. She just stays on my hand. If I put her on my shoulder, she'll stay on my shoulder. I'm not putting her in a cage with anybody yet. I don't want anybody to accidentally hurt her because everybody is bigger than her. Um, I'm just balancing on my finger, but like everybody is bigger than her. I did put her temporarily last night in there, and some of the older ones were checking her out. But I don't want anyone to accidentally hurt her, so I'm just keeping her in a little bin, um, with some food and some water and something to hide in, and yeah, let her get a little, let her grow up a little bit more before she goes in with the roughhousers and get used to me. I want to handle her a lot. I mean, she's already doing really well with being handled, but I want that to continue. Yeah, and she's like the tiniest ever. I'm supplementing her with some formula because I swear that she shouldn't be weaned yet. She's tiny. Yeah, she's super, super tiny. Just a little baby. So I saw her and I was like, oh my gosh, she's coming home with me. She's coming home with me. But yeah, she's so young that she just chills here. She's not real bold and exploring or anything. Yes, I just brought her home last night. I swapped her out with Lacey. Lacey, the one that escaped on me more than one time. Yeah, I brought her back. Kind of felt bad about that because now she's gonna be a feeder. Um, but once I put her in the bin, it was all over. Even if I changed my mind, I wouldn't have been able to get her back out because there are a lot of them that look like her. And I would never have been able to figure out who she was. Like, I probably would have picked out a different one that looked like her, thinking it was her. So I swapped her out and chose this little girl instead. I don't know if I want to keep her name as Lacey. Like, I don't know if I still want to use the Lacey name or if I want to choose something different. Like, she's got little tiny white feet, so she could be like socks or mittens, or if I want to keep with the L's, like everybody has an L name, then she can just have a random L name. I would say that she's barely 3 weeks old. Barely, like they can be weaned from their parents at 3 weeks, but I feel like she shouldn't have been weaned yet. I feel like she should still have her mama, but she might be 3 weeks. It depends. I've brought other ones home that I said were 3 weeks that were bigger than this. So something tells me that she's a little bit young, a little bit younger than that. And since there's a shortage in feeder rats, breeders are rushing them out. So they're rushing them out way too early. I mean, and people who are looking for small rats for their snakes are going, oh my gosh, that's too small. Um, and at one point I was like, at that rate, they can get a large mouse and pay less. But I did learn that rats have less fat than mice. So even if she's the size of a large mouse, they still might pay for her size just because a mouse has more fat than a rat does. And I didn't know that originally. Yep, she's been drinking water. I provide. Do you have hiccups? I've been providing her water. She's got a little bit of formula I mixed up in the top of this lid that she'll drink, and she does eat solids. So, right here, you want some more? Yeah, she's. I just put her on my laptop there, and she's drinking the formula. Um, yeah. Well, see, and that's what I thought about when I had a newborn. When I had brought a newborn home, an orphan whose eyes and ears were still shut. She was eating well, and all of that, but she still passed away a week after I got her. I was so excited for the 2 week mark when she would open her eyes and um, stuff like that. But she passed away before that could happen. So, I'm hoping that she'll make it. That's why I wanted to provide the formula for her and some extra high protein. We've got some wet canned dog food that's high in protein that I'll let her eat from. And yeah, she's super sweet. Yeah, it is hard to keep the newborns alive. There isn't, I mean, you can do all you can for them, but in the end you are not mom. So, yeah. No, I don't feel too like it was disappointing, of course, because I busted my butt for that little girl. But, I knew that it was going to be a long shot. I'm glad I got her too. Yeah, you got such a baby face. Such a baby face. Yep. When they eat well, yep, we're going to get you to eat. We're going to fatten you up. Yes, we are. She is a cutie. So I don't know what I want to do about her name. I don't know if I want to keep it as Lacey or pick a different L name or a different name period like Mittens since she's black but she's got white feet and a white belly. Got a white belly. I don't know. I don't know what I want to call her. Keep her as Lacey. I don't know. I mean, she could look like a Lacey, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, she's super cute. Super, super cute. So tiny. And she weighs nothing. Like if I put her on my shoulder, I could forget that she's there. She should have been Thumbelina, but I have a Thumbelina already. Lil, Lil. Aw, Jewel. Aw, you want to be Jewel? It breaks away from my L names because all of my rats have L names. I've got Lexi. I had Libby, but Libby passed away. I've got Lena. I've got Lucy, and I have Lainey. So all of them are L names. You got good news, Zach? What's your good news? Good morning, Chris. Libby. Yeah, I had a Libby. Libby is the one that passed away. She got sick and passed away. Sorry if I'm congested a bit. I had a Libby. I don't have a Libby now, but I did have a Libby, so I don't really want to reuse the name. Lizzie would work too. Then there's Luna as an option. Um, Layla. We have a dog at work named Layla. You sold your quad. Awesome. Claire Joy. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Oh no, don't what are you doing? What are you doing? That's awesome. You don't want any more right now? That's all right. I will have to look. I worked last night, then I came home and ate dinner late, and then I went to bed. And I got to work at 3 again today. And then I got to go and pick up Ian. I would have picked him up before work, but he works until 2. I work at 3. It's 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. I won't make it. If I was working at 5, I would have been able to go and get him. Now, possibly I could tell work I can't make it at 3. I could be there, you know, as soon as I can after that. Because sometimes that happens. But no, he wouldn't hang out. I'd have to drop him off at home. I do have a Lucy. Lily would work. I had a guinea pig named Lily, but Lily would work. I mean, it doesn't have to not cross species lines. And then I work again tomorrow. I was so hungry after work though, because that means I gotta eat earlier. Like normally I would eat right before I went to work. Well, if I have to be there at 3, I gotta eat between 2 and 2:30. So I'm basically eating lunch, and then I have to miss dinner because I work until after 9, and I just get super hungry. Yes, he does. But he's been studying, and he did take his written once, but he missed some. He didn't pass because there were some questions that had like the picture signs with no words on it that he kind of got confused on. So yeah, work can be hectic sometimes. And we got new dogs yesterday. We got a Norwegian elk hound, and she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. She's super, super sweet. A lot of people would mistake a Norwegian elk hound for a German Shepherd. They look a lot like a German Shepherd, especially when they're older. A lot of people would just assume it's a German Shepherd, but it is a Norwegian elk hound, and she is gorgeous. What is there to eat by my work? We got Taco Bell, got Papa John's. Actually, yesterday I was really tempted to walk over to Papa John's and order some garlic knots. The Papa John's, because we're in the same plaza, they give the pet store employees get a discount, which is super cool. So with our discount, I don't know what the discount is, but with the discount, the order of garlic knots is only like $3. So I am super, super tempted to do that today. Of course, we do have Taco Bell. There's a Chinese restaurant, but I have. Hey, JJLB. I have an interview Tuesday. I pray I get because I want to get a dog or cat. Oh, good luck. You should get rats. Here's a baby. I just brought her home last night. Little baby. She's so little. Yeah, she's so little. So little and cute. So little and cute. There was a guy that came in yesterday that was really interested in our hedgehog. And he was ready to bring it home that day, like yesterday. But then he was like, he wanted to know about hedgehogs and how to care for them. And I'm like, so you're ready to bring this hedgehog home like now, but you have absolutely no clue how to take care of it. This is what I don't understand. I'm like, you need to find those things out first. You don't just walk into a pet store and go, that's a cool animal, I want it, and have absolutely no idea how to take care of it. So we don't have a Sonic, unfortunately. Yes, I have the last couple times I've had Taco Bell, I've had the Frito burritos. Those are good. But yeah, so I did a quick research on my phone and told him some things about hedgehogs, and he's like, okay. And then he was asking about the ferrets, and then you know, I'm like, you need. I talked a lot with him about care of certain animals and the minimum requirements for enclosures and stuff like that. And he thanked me for the information. And then I'm wondering if he's the same guy that somebody told me, one of the salespeople told me that he asked if we got like an education type program where we um, they pay to have us go around with them and tell them about each small animal. Are you kissing me? Are you kissing me? Um, all their care requirements, how to take care of them, that backgrounds on them and all of that. And I'm like, well, that would be a wonderful field trip for children. But he said he'd be willing to pay $100 an hour to have somebody take him through the store and like educate him on all the small animals. We're like, oh, we don't offer anything like that. But I told the manager on duty, I was like, hey, if he wants to pay $100 an hour, I will come here on my day off and take him around the store and educate him. Like, seriously. Doesn't he have Google? Like, instead of paying somebody $100 an hour to take them through the pet store and tell them about all the animals that are in there and how to care for them, pop open your internet and do some research. It's quite simple. Everything, all information is at your fingertips. But I did tell him to not just go to one site, like if he wanted to research hedgehogs, not just to go to one site and call it a day. I said go to multiple places because you're going to get, in some places, you're going to have conflicting information. And when you're not sure, when you go to more places, I would, go with the information that is most consistent across multiple sites. But don't just go to one place and go, okay, this is what they're saying, because sometimes they're completely wrong. Right? Oh, the manager was like, go for it. Like, I mean, really, $100 an hour I mean, even if I only spend an hour with him to tell him about how to care for hamsters, how to care for guinea pigs, how to care for rabbits, how to care for ferrets, hedgehogs, chinchillas. That's what basically, and we got a skinny pig now. It's the first time that, at least the first time since I've been there, that we got a skinny pig. But I told one of the salespeople, I said, they require more care than a regular guinea pig. So make sure they know that. Don't let just anybody take them. They need to know how to care for that skinny pig, or that skinny pig's gonna die. I was like, you come and get me if someone is interested in that skinny pig because they need to know. They need to know. But we ended up bathing like 3 or 4 ferrets yesterday because we got our shipment of animals and the ferrets were filthy. So all the ferrets got a bath and I had them wrapped in a towel and they're so cute. Hey, Maple Street. No girl stretched it out over 3 hours, right? So this is a guinea pig. They require, hey, 24/7. They are not graceful. They have to have one level. Do not give them a cage. Yeah, I could like totally stretch that out. And the ones that I don't have a lot of knowledge about, we have our phones on us while we're working. So if somebody asks a question, like since he was interested in the hedgehog and I'm not real knowledgeable about their care, um, I just pulled out my phone and looked it up. And then I was able to go out there and tell him, hey, they need a minimum requirement of 4 square feet of space. Um, they need this, they need this, they need a warmer temperature than other animals. I mean, you'd have to keep the room that they're in has to be about 72 degrees. Um, things like that. Hello, Addie Fitness. How are you? I feel like I'm extra congested today, but I feel fine. So she's just chilling on me. She has no interest in moving anywhere because she's so young. So young. Yes. Just like a newborn baby that just doesn't move. I mean, if I put her down, she'll walk around, but she just wants to snuggle. It's funny. For years, I've wanted to work at a pet store because way back when, before my son was born, I had a rabbit and litter box trained him and all of that. And I'd gone into the pet store where I had bought him because I was going to go and buy more food, and all that. And I was just walking around minding my own business. And there was a person, another shopper, that asked one of the salespeople if you can litter box train rabbits. And the salesperson had no clue. She answered that she did not know. And I'm standing there and I was just dying. I was like, excuse me. Couldn't help but overhearing when you asked the question about the rabbits and if they could be litter box trained. And I just wanted to let you know that yes, they can. So I had gone home and I was like, I need a job at the pet store, man. The pet store person, the employee, did not know if you could litter box train a rabbit. And I'm like, yes, yes, you can. So ever since then, I was like, I need to work at a pet store. I've got knowledge to share. And I didn't even know as much back then as I do now. And the person was very grateful. They were like, oh, thank you so much. Hey, Southern Belle. My coffee tastes so good, but it gets me a little jittery, but I'm either a little jitterbug or super drowsy. Yeah. I notice that if I drink my coffee and then I don't eat for a while, that I'll get jittery. My blood sugar will drop. I'll get jittery. And hey, Todd. Yep. And I always have to use the restroom. after coffee all the time. Hey, do you want some more formulas? Want some more formulas? So, Todd, I did swap out Lacey. I brought home a new baby, and when I say baby, she's a baby. Like she was the smallest of the bunch. Um, I'm actually right now she's actually drinking some formula out of a lid. Um, I would syringe it to very young, but I was like, she's doing really well right now. I didn't want to have to hold her and like syringe. So I mixed it up and I put it in a lid and she's just drinking it herself. Don't run away. But she is tiny, like super tiny, like smaller than any of them that I have brought home before. Yeah, you could be a telemarketer. I know. Here I say I'm not going to be doing lives as much and then everybody's popping in. I might have to just change it back. I was just thinking, maybe people were getting sick of me because I was around for so much, every single day for hours, and maybe people are just getting sick of me. So I thought, I'll change it up a little bit. Yeah, so here's the new little girl. She's just super tiny, little baby face. And I'm still trying to decide if I should keep her name, for Lacey that I returned, if I should still use the name Lacey, or if she should be given a different name. I don't know. She's super cute. She's black. She's got white feet, like white on her, above her feet, like little white socks. She's got a white belly. Can I show your belly? White belly. But she's tiny. Yeah, she is very active, but when I'm holding her, she will just chill. She just chills with me. Yeah. I put her in briefly with the older ones, um, so they can check her out. She could check them out, but I don't want to leave her in there. One, because if she makes it up to the top of the cage, she'll be able to get out if she really wants to. That's what happened with Lacey. Um, so I don't want to leave her in there unattended for that reason. Plus, I don't want the other ones to get too rough with her and hurt her. Um, so I've just been keeping her in like a little tiny. I have this little tiny Rubbermaid bin, like it's very small. Um, and I just put her in there. She's got a washcloth. She can hide under that, use that as a bed. I put a little tiny. I actually put like a little tiny candle holder, like very shallow candle holder. Put water in there for her. Put some food, and that's where she sleeps. Um, and then she's just hanging out with me. I say she deserves her own new name. Yeah. And then I don't know if I want to just stick with the L names because everybody has an L name or go with something different. The first thing that popped into my mind with her little white feet um, was Mittens. Um, but I do like sticking with the L names if I can. I know that eventually I'm going to run out of L names. Um, but I mean, I could still do Luna. I can still do um, Lizzie. I can still do Layla. I can still do Lily. Lily was one of my guinea pigs, but that's okay. Um, or I could just stray from the L names altogether. I mean, because that's what my son did. I mean, when he started out, he had Riley and Raina, and he wanted to go with our names, but then he got his third one and he couldn't think of an R name, so he went with Sagira. So he has it, and then he's got Thea. He totally strayed off of the R's. So yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. What does she look like? What name would suit this little thing? She would totally be a Thumbelina, but I've already got a Thumbelina. see. Yeah, I kind of got off of that Bible reading, didn't I? I'll have to go back. Let me look. I gotta look back. I missed some stuff. Yeah, my Bible reading. She's so cute. She's real active. She deserves her own name. Passion, you will grow because how you treat people, we all like. Well, oh, thank you. I'm getting so close to my goal, so I can finally go live when I hit 1K. I want to talk to my friends. So, aw, you never get sick of me. You say hello. Yeah, just so tiny. Lizzie. Lizzie. She just stands there. I have a Lucy already. I have a Lucy already. I'll have to show you Lucy. I have a Lucy in there. I have Lexi, Lena, Lucy, and Lainey. Oh, that would confuse me. Lainey and Lena. Liaza? Liaza? Is that how you pronounce that? Doing? Lulu. Yeah, there's Lulu. Lulu. Leilani. Ooh, creative names. Leilani. Yeah, what do you think? Uh-huh. Little Lulu. Little Lulu. Oh, I'm getting kisses. I'm getting kisses. Yeah, we really this last shipment of rats. We got totally. Um, Normally we get our larges and mediums are males, and our smalls are females. Well, now in all of the medium bins, we've got females, and I'm like, and they're not very medium. They're like the size the smalls should be, and then the smalls are like tiny. Um, and then our larges are still males, but the larges are technically medium. Like they rush them out because there's a shortage, but then we have complaints by some of the people because they're looking for large. They're not looking, and all we can offer them is a medium size. But um, there's only so much that we can do, and yeah, maybe I could breed, but I wouldn't be able to part with faces like this. Like, really? I wouldn't be able to part with these faces and know that they're going as food. I can't name her Lisa, Todd. That would just be really odd to me because that's my name. My narrate snail is crawling on the carpet again this morning. She's very active and she's got the tiger stripes. See, my snails never came out of my tank. That's really interesting that yours get out. I'm so scared YouTube will make more rules and then I might never get to go live there. Yeah. They took away your live. What do you mean? Oh, for the mobile streaming? There are still ways to mobile stream, just saying. I did it when I went to Vanessa's house. When I went to Ness MSA's house, I used my phone. Hey, you checking her out? She's gonna walk on your head. No fear here. She's gonna walk on her head. I've got good cats because they'll watch. The cats will watch them, but that's about all they do. Sarge is doing better, Zach. That's good. I've noticed my new one, Luca, will not eat the pellets I give him. I've had to fish them out. He won't eat them. He'll go for it and he'll take it, but then he spits it back out. He doesn't want them. And I'm like, dude, you got to eat. Like, I haven't seen him actually consume a pellet yet. But I have freeze dried bloodworms, and I put those in there, and he eats those. So he's picky. Lola, Lila, Leah. I have a Lucy already. She met Lucy. You found out what was wrong? What was wrong with him? Yeah, so yeah, she's laying eggs, but they're not hatching. That's probably why. And mystery snails will sometimes leave the tank when they want to lay eggs, especially if the water line isn't low enough. But I see I had like 3 narite snails at one time once, and none of them ever laid eggs. It's okay. It's hard to keep track sometimes. The only snails I've ever had that have laid eggs are my ram's horns. I mean, that's a given. But I only have one ram's horn right now, so no eggs. She's chittering her teeth. What are you doing? Click, 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 click your teeth. My wiener dog is protected a green cheek conure when it got out before. That's good. Oh, she's kissing me. I'm getting kisses. She's licking me. Yeah, the cats will stare. And I'd be worried, unsupervised, I'd be worried about her because she is the size of a mouse. So I would be worried if Shadow saw her when I wasn't around. I think it's, she knows because I'm holding her that she's not one that needs to be caught. Because she has caught mice in the house before. So I would be worried if she was just like loose and whatever. Now she says Luna. What do you guys think about Luna? Luna. I like it. Let's see. I'm going to be 1 year older Monday. Oh, happy early birthday. I was on Miss Canadian Scrapper's panel last night. She's having girl power today panel. You should come tonight. I'll be working at 8, but I might be able to like turn it on. I might be able to at least turn it on. I've got work today. Ah, hello. One day I could tell you how, Jenny, if you want me to. Oh, so you didn't put enough like water conditioner in? I have stress coat that I put in. Hello, Vanessa. Usually I'm not with any kind of drama, but there is one person on YouTube who is my friend, and she's bringing a lady on her panel, and this lady has made a video threatening to... What? That's not good. Oh, Luna or Lady? Lady. I like Luna. Luna's a pretty one. Where are you going? She's exploring a bit now. Hey, muscle car. Yeah, I miss Nike. I saw she was live yesterday and I missed it. I watched some of the replay today. Where are we going? You want some more formula? Here we go. Oh, yeah, she went straight to the formula. Luna the rat. I think we'll call her Luna. She likes her formula. She's just standing on my table, drinking out of her lid. I had originally put it on a saucer, but she had to practically walk right into it to get to it. So I didn't want her tracking little formula footprints all over the place. So I put it in a lid instead. Yeah, he was telling me he was not happy with the water. Yeah, that could be. That very well. So he's doing better now. Did you do a water change then? Luna for the win. Luna. She's so freaking cute. Hey, Jenna. She's so tiny. And I just am like in awe. Like I just watch her face. I mean, they've got, when they're really young like this, they've got these baby faces. And I mean, even Lexi had a baby face when I got her, but I feel like her baby face is even babier, if that makes any sort of sense, because she's smaller. Yeah, you did a water change again. I got to do another salt bath on Hummus. His side is looking really bad. Now, I talked to, oh, I need to try and get a picture because I talked to the manager he's manager in the fish area at work, and I asked him about it, and he said he would be shocked if it was ammonia burn, because usually he said that would happen if um the ammonia is like trapped in the gravel or in a lot of, because I said I've only got a couple of silk plants. I don't have anything really where ammonia would get trapped. Um, so he is like, he wants to see it, but he said it would be unless he was like, how long have you had it? Um, has it traveled? Has it gone from a tank to a different tank? And I'm like, no, I've had him for a month and a half at least, and he's been in the same tank, and water changes are at least once a week, and that kind of thing. And I told him how big the tank was, and he's baffled by the idea that it would be ammonia burn. But I mean, he said sometimes if he had, there are situations where they can have a parasite and they would rub against the side of the tank, even if it's not sharp. If they rub consistently on the side of the tank to try and rid themselves of that parasite, they can damage themselves like that. Um, so that could be. Um, but I gave him a salt bath yesterday, and I'm gonna do it again today. And he told me to once a week water changes should be fine. And and I said all the other fish look fine. I've checked them over. They don't have any spots. They don't have any nothing. So it's just him. Yeah, that's why I didn't know. And I watched Rachel O'Leary's video when she talked about some of them looked like they had a bite taken out of them or whatever, and that's what he looks like. Um, but I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can get a picture Like, maybe when I have him in his salt bath again, I'll take a picture of his side so I could show the guy at work and see what his thoughts are by looking at that. Yeah, I should probably add another filter. But I also wanna get that 55 cleaned out and put them in there, and that would help too, a bigger space for the bio load that's in there. Let's see. You tickle me with your I saw a betta at the pet store. He had a long bubble or bumble. Ooh, and he couldn't swim down. Sounds like he might have swim bladder. Could have swim bladder. Did it look like it would be like a tumor, or is he just like bloated? Or does he have like hmm. Although a lot of I've had a betta where when they had an issue swimming, they couldn't stay buoyant. They would just sink. Um, but not being able to swim down. Oh no. That's weird. Oh, you probably could have. You probably could have. If I add any more stress coat or water conditioner to a tank when the fish is in there, I do it over the filter. So it just immediately kind of gets into the cycle. Because there actually have been times where I will do the water change and I'll be like, I'll have the fish back in or whatever. Or sometimes I don't take the fish out at all when I do a water change, but then I'll be like, oh crap, I didn't put the conditioner in. So I do it after the fact. Yeah, two filters would help even in the smaller. Yeah. So I mean, it could have been a parasite, and he maybe was trying to rub it off, and he like rubbed himself raw. Um, I don't know. It does look really nasty. It looks bad, but I'm hoping that it'll get better. I don't want to lose my hummus. I don't take my fish out for the water changes typically. I sometimes do for my 2 gallon just because it's so small. Um, I'll take him out and put him in something with his own water, and then I'll do a water change. But just because it's really small, but there are other times I leave him in. Zach, do you take Sarge out of the tank when you do a water change? How do you do the water change? Is it like, do you have a gravel vac that you suck the water out, or how do you do your water change? Oh, Jenna, your computer is not 5 years old. It's only 3. It's the same age as mine. You were like, mine's older. You really like your formula. You did take them out this time, which will also be stressful on them to take them out. stressful to be caught in a net. Hey, Lewis. Yeah, mine makes loud noises and I have to punch it. Gotta punch it. When I punch it, it gets quiet again. Hello. So, little Luna. Little Luna. I'll probably bring her to work with me just so that I can bring her when I go pick up Ian tonight and he can hang out with her on the way home. I feel like if I put her in his cage, I'd lose her because it's a bigger cage and he's got so many boxes in the bottom now that they can chew on and hide in. I'd probably never see her again. I'd have to be like pulling out all. I think he's got too many boxes in there, honestly. But I feel like I'd never see her again because there'd be way too many places for her to hide. Plus, I wouldn't want one of the bigger rats to beat up on her. They like to play and they get a little rough. Although Sagira might protect her. Sagira likes to protect little ones. You did a live stream for the first time the night before yesterday? That's awesome. You usually just take a water pitcher and drain it that way. So you just like scoop water out. Are you able to get the waste off of the bottom of the tank when you do your water change? Because you're definitely going to want the waste to come out. I use a turkey baster. If I'm just going to take water out, um, or if I don't want to do like an entire water change, I'll actually use, especially in my 2 gallon, I will take my turkey baster, and it's a turkey baster that's only used for the fish. I don't use it for cooking. Um, and I will suck out things like the uneaten food. For Luca, I've sucked that stuff out and whatever because I don't want that to taint the water. Um, yeah, I think I was working when you went live. Hey, Michael. Hey, Ben. How are you? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, my newest betta, Luca, is a picky eater. I've noticed he refuses to eat the pellets that I put in. Everybody else eats the pellets, not Luca. He'll grab one and then he'll let go of it and leave it, and then it just sits in there and it will rot. So I have to suck those out. Um, but I was getting a little bit concerned because he wasn't eating anything that I was putting in. But I have noticed because I've got some freeze dried bloodworms, and he actually eats those. So he's just picky. He likes the freeze dried bloodworms. Oh my goodness, Michael. How did you do that? Ouch. Usually catch your beta in the cup and then I say beta and beta. I said beta at work the other day and one of the girls looked at me funny. And I'm like, in the fish world, that's what they call them. I mean, beta, beta, tomato, tomato, however you want to call it. And you're usually doing a full water change, um, like you empty out the tank completely, Zach? Yeah, you do a full water change. I mean, I've done that before, I used to do that with a, a betta that I had years and years and years ago before I learned more stuff. Um, but sometimes that could be more detrimental to take them completely out of their water to put them in something very, very clean. Sometimes I feel like because I had bettas that were in just containers for a while when I had a whole bunch. Um, I didn't have enough tanks, so I had them in containers, and I was doing water changes all the time because they didn't have a filter or anything like that. And there was one time that I kind of slacked, and I think one of the containers was a few days worth of. Did you piddle on me? I don't think you did. No. Um, um, I it was a few days of him sitting in his water with no filter and anything like that. So the ammonia level was going to be high and all of that, which is not good in the first place. But then you take him out of that and put him in completely clean water. And sometimes that can almost be a shock, I think, because I did that. And the next day he died. And I was like, he was happier in his dirty water? Like, really? I cleaned it out and then he was dead. I would probably do more like get yourself a turkey baster that you'll only use for water changes. And if you rather than doing an entire like 100% water, suck out the waste at the bottom with the turkey baster. It works pretty well. And then take your portion of water out and put new stuff in, is what I would do. All right, Jenna. Hey, H7, how are you? I changed my gravel and I always have a hard time catching the bed in the net. He doesn't like. Yeah, I can't stand gravel. I gotta still do my water change on my divided tank with the gravel. I fell at our fairgrounds over a chain. Ouch! Ouch! Well, hopefully you're okay. Be like that, bye. What's going on, H7? You're not usually so testy. What is going on? I've had reports of you, H7, messing with Jenna. If I don't say hi soon enough, you kind of get testy with me. Like I don't know what's going on because you were usually not like that. So I need to know what's going on here because I can't have people in here messing with the viewers and making them uncomfortable. And I didn't see a comment that was let me scroll up because in StreamYard, even if they're retracted in YouTube, I could still see them. So let me go back. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, Sour said good morning to me. See, all I see is good morning to me and then be like that, bye. Oh, Jenna, is that why you're leaving? Don't leave because of him, okay? And then I see that's enough smarting off on me. I don't see anything in StreamYard. I just see where he said good morning to me and then be like that, bye. Is there something else that I'm not seeing, you guys, that I haven't just read off? That be like that bye could have been even towards me, Jenna, because he said good morning to me and it took me a second to respond. See ya. Hey, Angelina. Yeah, he has always been nice. That's why I'm wondering why he's been testy lately, because it's been for a few days. So I don't know if that was even towards you, Jenna. He didn't mention names. It could have been towards me for being delayed and saying hello. Um, but I don't know what's going on because I've never in before had a problem with him. And now for some reason every time he's in here something is going on that makes people uncomfortable. And I don't want someone coming in here and being rude to me because I don't say hi soon enough or being rude to anybody else. Like knowing that somebody is particularly sensitive and messing with them. I don't want to lose people because they're uncomfortable when someone comes in. So I don't know. H7, if you're listening, what's going on? Why are you kind of being, you know, why are you irritable? You used to be, not that way. And I need to know what's going on here. So enlighten me if you would, please. Because I've never had a problem with you, but I start to have a problem when my other viewers are having a problem. And I just want to know what's going on. Hunter loves the song Baby Shark. How is Hunter? How's he sleeping? Are you getting some sleep? Yeah, it is hard to keep up because there are other times that I've missed other people's comments and I've had to scroll back up and then I see them after. So, you know what? I'm not going to be, you know, if someone is going to be that sensitive where I don't respond to a good morning right away, I'm sorry. It happens. There are 13 people in here and sometimes I'm going to miss a comment even if it's a good morning comment. And it happens to me too. And when I go into people's streams, my comments aren't always seen, but I'm not going to get all testy. So I just want to know what's going on, like why all of a sudden we have like this behavior shift. Don't worry, Jenna. You have nothing to apologize for. You have nothing to apologize for. Yeah, I'll respond sooner or later. I mean, I ended up responding to him, and then at that point, um, that's when I saw the be like that. Okay, I'll be like that. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. It just sometimes comments are missed. And, I've missed more than a couple already this stream, but I usually end up scrolling back up just to see if I missed anything. Oh, well. I mean, if someone wants to be that way and ruin, ruin a relationship, whatever, because I had nothing against anybody. If you want to ruin the rapport and not be allowed back because you make people uncomfortable all the time with the behavior, then that's what's going to end up happening. I don't see the point in that. I mean, that unfortunately, that's why I took the wrench. He had a wrench. I took it just because I shouldn't have a mod that makes people uncomfortable. I shouldn't have a mod that, when they come in, other viewers are wanting to leave because they don't want to walk on eggshells. So that's why I took the wrench. Maybe he said good morning and noticed that his wrench was gone, and that's why he responded that way. I don't know. I don't know anything because he's not telling us why he's being this way. But I don't get upset over good morning. I totally am still trying to get. Yep, there are times I'll go into somebody's stream and I'll say hi, don't get a response. I'll say something else, I don't get a response. And at that point, I'll either leave without saying anything or I'll just hang out and listen. Like, whatever. I don't have to have the whole world acknowledge me. I mean, as the host, I think that's your duty is to try and acknowledge everybody, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Don't worry, Jenna. Don't worry, Jenna. It's all good. It's all good. Maybe he is mad that he lost his wrench, but you know, he's an adult. He knows he knows what mood he's in. He knows if he's in here and he says something sarcastic, like I can't read his tone of voice. So, he's going to have to remember that. None of us can read a tone of voice in his written words. So, he's going to have to understand that sometimes something could be taken wrong or whatever. So if, I've got to do what I've got to do. Yes, of course. Yes, she does worry too much, Todd. She definitely does. Yes, I will put the link up for you, Angelina. We want to see Hunter. We got to see Hunter, right, guys? Little baby Hunter. Yeah, people want the wrenches, but then they got to understand with a wrench, you have a responsibility to the stream and you have a responsibility to the host. And you definitely cannot be making other viewers uncomfortable. I mean, that's not the way it should be. It's okay, Jenna. It's all right. I immediately assumed it was towards me because I didn't say hello right away. But maybe it wasn't even that at all. It could have been that he noticed when he said hello that his wrench was missing. There could be all sorts of reasons. So all we can do is speculate until he explains himself. Hello, Mama.
Hey, I'm sorry if it starts echoing.
Oh, it's okay. It sounds pretty good right now.
Okay, hold on one second.
Oh, I hear him. Oh, there he is. Hello, honey.
Yeah,
He's
he's being fussy, and I don't know why.
Hi, Hunter. Hello. Oh. Good morning, my love of crafts. How are you doing? Oh, you're making a blanket. What pattern are you using? My favorite blanket pattern is C to C. Yep, exactly, Todd. With a wrench, they're representative of the host. Exactly. Hello, Roy. How are you?
Oh, now I can see the comment. Okay,
Yeah, they've changed that up. Hello, Hunter. He looks like he's long.
Hold on
Was he
one
a long
second.
baby? You look tall. Yeah, long baby. Doesn't he look long, you guys? I know that when Ian was born, he was 7 pounds and he was 20 inches. He just
He
looks.
came out
He looks.
6 pounds, 15 ounces, and 20 inches long.
Okay, so he is. So he was smaller in weight, but still just as long. So yeah, he is kind of long for his size. He's so cute. Yeah, Ian being 7 pounds and 20 inches, he was like a little roly poly, like we called him Chunky Monkey was his nickname. But Hunter does not look like a chunky monkey. He looks like a string bean.
I'm muting my mic because I know he can get really loud.
That's not a problem.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna have the camera facing him somehow, some
Okay.
way. So I go make him a bottle,
All right.
but the mic will be muted.
Okay, no problem. He's a healthy baby. He's going to be active. My nephew was like that. He used to bounce around. Now he runs around. Yeah. Got to get used to that again with your daughters, but yes, you do. You could. It's totally different when you're the grandparent, though. You could totally spoil them and give them back, pop them up on sugar. No,
Okay,
I
speaking
actually,
of grandparents, my mom is not allowed to give Hunter candy.
yeah, I actually had to have a talk with my at the time mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law now, because she would always be giving him things that I didn't want her to give him, and I was like, look, if you can't, I'm the mom, and if you can't respect my wishes, I mean, I understand grandmas are supposed to spoil, but you still gotta do what the mom wants, you know, and if you can't respect that, then you can't watch him by yourself because you're not listening to me, you know, because she would let him when he was only a year old, she would let him have some of her diet caffeine. It was diet caffeine free pop, but that kind of pop has all sorts of other crap in it too, and I'm like, I don't want my 1 year old drinking that. And oh, he just wants what grandma has, and I'm like, I get that, but he doesn't get to always have what he wants, you know, come on now. So I was actually at the point where I was going to say, you can't watch him anymore by yourself. Because I was getting upset. Your diamond painting is finally in America. Yes, with the noisy toys. Yep. Yep. We had some noisy toys. He just looks so agitated. He's like, "Ah." She's just chilling on me. Hi, what you doing? Oh, you want some more of your formula? No more formula. Don't run away. No running away. You can drink your formula. There you go. I can't remember how old he is. We'll have to ask her when she gets back.
I know he's freaking out because of the fact that I was gone too long.
How old is he?
All right, now I'm gonna put
Now.
back here.
Passion.
I know I look just like my mom. Calm down.
You do. You look like your mom.
All right,
All right, Southern Belle. Have a good day. Yeah, if you had long hair like her, you'd look like carbon copy of your mother.
Yep.
How old is he now?
This is not fun. Oh, where's the bottle all the way over there? Hunter, I put the bottle all the way over there. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yes, there is a tank resealer. Like, I have to make sure that my tank outside in the garage holds water still. It might need to be resealed. I'm hoping not. But yeah, there is resealer. Can you hear me, Angelina?
Yes, I can.
How old is he now?
He is 3 weeks.
Three weeks. Now,
He
he's
was
a long baby.
on the 14th.
Wow. Yeah, he's gonna be a tall boy. How tall are you or his dad?
Okay, his dad is 5'11". Or no, around 5'9", 5'10", almost
Oh,
5'11", somewhere around there. And I am 5'2",
huh.
almost no, I'm 5'3" now.
So you guys aren't terribly tall. So I don't know. Maybe he'll just get somebody else in the family. He'll get somebody else's height.
I hope that he comes out to be 4'11" like my cousin Amy.
He'll
A little munchkin.
probably hate that when he gets older.
Well, when he gets older, it won't matter because of the fact. What are you doing? You're not even latching on. You're just like nomming on it.
You heading out, Jenna? All right. We'll talk with you later.
Oh, I can actually see the chat now.
Yeah, that's cool. I like how they changed that.
Whereas Hangouts, I could not.
I am not sure, Zach. I would have to look. I've never had to reseal a tank before, but Vanessa has. Vanessa, are you still in here? Where can Zach find the thing to reseal his tank? You need to reseal it, you said, Zach? There's something. Is it leaking?
Oh, come here, Ben. I don't know what your problem is. You're just being fussy. You're just being so fussy. Oh, no. None of
Oh,
that.
she's gonna be back.
You know
See,
what?
I missed a comment. Yes, I'll be back. Okay, yeah. See, I missed comments, you guys. I'm a human.
I know you're tired and you're irritable and you're just
Yes, they do grow fast, JJ. Sometimes it feels like just yesterday when my son was just
they
little.
just
When
have
I
to
met my
pass.
husband that I'm married to now, when I met him and we started dating, Ian was in kindergarten. And it really, I mean, we've been married now for 10 years. It doesn't feel like that long, but that's why I'm like, holy crap. You know, he was 5 years old when I met my husband, and 6 years old when we got married, and now he's 17. And I'm like, where did the years go? It,
Yeah.
it's crazy how fast they grow up. I still remember, I saw when I was working a couple of years ago, I ran into his kindergarten teacher. And I still remember when, you know, she was one of his favorite teachers. I mean, she was his first teacher, but he loved her. And so I was talking with her. I said, I don't know if you remember me, and my son was in your class, and you know, and I mentioned his name, and she's like, oh, I remember him. And I'm like, yeah, I think at the time I was like, he's 15. And he was like, oh, she was like, oh my God, you know, like time just flies.
The only way you can get him to calm down is to bounce him.
Yeah, they like to bounce. Yours are 19 and 17. Yeah, and when I did meet my husband and we started dating, his kids were 9 and 10. And now Stacy is 20 and DJ is he'll be in November, he'll be 22. I'm like, huh, like I'm just like baffled, like everybody's like grown up.
Yes, Todd, I am definitely enjoying him now. I like it when he's this small.
Yes.
I've heard
I remember when I was like, I can't wait. I would lay him on a blanket on the floor or whatever, but then I'd be like, and then he'd sit up and he'd just sit there and I'd be like, I can't wait until they crawl, like until he crawls or starts walking. And then I'm like, I wish I could just sit him on once he did, I was like, I wish I could just sit him on the blanket and he'd stay there.
well, Hunter, he's starting to pick things up and throw them across the room like he did with his pacifier. I was making him a bottle, and he decided to throw his passy from his crib over to the wall. And I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" And Matt was like, "Really, dude? Like really loud." And he was like, "Oh shit, my arm's stuck." And I was like, "What?" So I walked around the corner and came into the room, and I saw him on his back reaching for the pacifier, and I was like, I was like, "Yes, I don't have to do it."
Yeah. Hey, Ben, how are you doing? Hey, Tony, how are you?
And the best part with StreamYard is now when my stepdad goes on, I can join in with them and see the comments.
Yes, that's great. Oh, your tank does have a small leak. That sucks. Yeah, when Vanessa gets back in here, I'll ask her, or you can ask her because are you falling asleep? Because I'm not sure. I've never had to reseal a tank, so I don't know if you could get it at the pet store where you would buy, in the fish area, if they have that there, or if you've got to go someplace else. I'm not quite sure.
You need to go see a pediatrician soon. We were supposed to go yesterday, but that didn't happen due to Hurricane Dorian.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was a disaster. We got heavy rain, and we also got we had a couple flickers through the power, but nothing actually shut off. Thank God.
Wow. Oh, JJ, your tank is leaking too? I really hope my 55 is good. I don't want to have to reseal it.
But it was just heavy rain and heavy winds. That
Huh.
was it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But the pediatrician, I had called her yesterday, told her that we couldn't make it because my friend Laura, who is Hunter's godmother, was supposed to come yesterday to take us, but she had car troubles because the water got inside of underneath
Oh,
her,
yeah, yeah.
so it kind of flooded a little bit. So she had to use her friend Kristen's car. Her and Kristen came up yesterday to check on Hunter and see how everything is. Because I called her and I was panicking bad because I thought he had colic.
Oh.
And it scared me to pieces. Like I was so scared because I didn't know what to do. He would not stop crying yesterday. Turns out
Oh.
Cassie.
Sometimes that happens. There was a time when Ian was crying, and there seemed to be like nothing that I could do to get him to stop. And I was just like, my mother-in-law was like, "Give him to me and go walk around the block." And I'm like, "Thank you." I had to get away from the crying because I was just like, my nerves were shot. Yeah, that's usually where they'll leak, Zach. So yeah, the seal broke or something. That sucks. And that's not even an old tank. Like there should be no reason why a new tank has to be sealed.
None of that. None of that. I don't know what to do now. Like I'm bouncing him and he's calm, but the minute I put his passy or his bottle in his mouth, he freaks.
Aw.
I don't know. And we've been up since 6 o'clock this morning, haven't we?
Oh, you got Mama
Yeah.
up early.
Well, now I'm ready to go for work. And he woke me up and he was like, "Hey, I think he's hungry. So why not start moving around?" And I looked at him, I was like, that's the minute that you leave, he's not gonna go back to sleep. He was
Yeah,
like, I figured, but try to get some sleep. And I was like, I would try
yeah.
every few minutes.
Do
I would
you
lay him
have do
up
you
until
have somebody like a friend that can is willing to just hang out with him so you can sleep?
well, the one person that I normally call is no.
Uh-oh, she froze. Because I used to have a friend come over when, the first few weeks or whatever, when you hardly get any sleep. And she would just chill with him for a couple of hours while I got to have some sleep. And that was very helpful. Oh no, she still froze. Come back to us. I can't find the pouch, the little rat pouch. I can't find it anywhere. I had to bring her home in something else last night. Can't find the little pouch. I have no idea where it is. I looked all over for it yesterday and it bugs me that I can't find it. I helped my sister with her babies and I learned a lot. Yeah, you definitely learn a lot when you spend a lot of time with babies. We lost her. That sucks. Fire department was on standby to go. Ooh. So around here, we had, I'm not, how far am I from Gas City? Gas City, Indiana. I'm trying to, let me do a little, distance thing. I'm going to look at my GPS and type in Gas City so I can let you know how far away I am. Gas City. About 48 miles away. I'm about 48 miles away from Gas City. Okay. Um, there was a 10-year-old girl that went missing, and she was missing for like a few days, 3, 4 days. They found her. She has passed. She was killed, which is really upsetting. She was found, from what I'm hearing, on the property. Her stepmother strangled her. Her stepmother was arrested for murdering this 10-year-old girl, which really, oh, I just can't even. I just can't even. It's sickening. Sickening. Um, Let me see. I'm gonna pull up a article. You're supposed to be able to trust your family with your kids. Like seriously. And anymore, you can't even trust your family with your kids. I finally got out of bed. So, I mean, and she was such a cute little girl too. Stepmom choked her to death because she was angry. Um, prosecutors to seek life for stepmom charged with killing Gas City girl who was 10 years old. Um, the Gas City woman who police said killed her stepdaughter this past weekend at the family's home has been formally charged in the killing, and prosecutors will seek a life imprisonment. She was 34 years old, the mom. Faces charges of murder, neglect of a dependent, resulting in death. See, now, she this is where it could get dicey. When they're charged with murder, I was on a jury earlier this year in March, and it was a murder charge for a local little boy. And basically the live-in boyfriend killed him. Um, and he was charged with murder. He was charged with murder, domestic battery, and things like that. Same thing that this woman is being charged with, basically. Um, but on the jury, and we have had a lot of people angry with the jury, including myself because I was on the jury. There are a lot of people that I know that don't know that I was on that jury, and I'm not even going to say anything because they don't understand. We couldn't find him guilty of murder. We knew he killed him, but you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he intended to kill him. And he beat him, yes. He ended up beating him to death. But when you're in the heat of the moment and you're beating on somebody, you're not necessarily intending to kill them. Um, so there was a shadow of a doubt on his intent. And because we couldn't prove intent to kill, he couldn't be found guilty of murder. He was found guilty of domestic battery, and that kind of thing. And he got 40 years. Um, but it's really dicey when you're charging murder because you have to prove intent. Now, I would like to think in this instance, since she was choking her, that's that to me is more of an intent to kill than, because you're cutting off their airway. That's you're intending to do something there, you know? So I'm hoping that they'll be able to get that murder to stick. Noah Tomlin. Oh, that's so sad. Let's see. So she's facing charges of murder, neglect of a dependent resulting in death, domestic battery resulting in death to a person under 14 years of age. So she's getting charged with a lot of things that this other guy got charged with. And strangulation related to the death of 10-year-old Skylia. That's a cute name. Um, According to a probable cause affidavit filed in Grant Circuit Court Friday morning, Amanda admitted to strangling the girl to death in a shed behind the family's East South D Street home. The girl's body was found Wednesday around 3 a.m. inside plastic trash bags. Mm. See, at least this woman admitted it. I mean, she admitted to strangling her. They'll probably be able to get this to stick. But this guy on the case that I was on, um, he full on denied that he denied that he even laid hands on him. Um, so that was harder. Police had questioned Carmack about young Skylia's disappearance as well as 6 other children in the home. The children told police she was a strict disciplinarian who would physically abuse them, often with a belt. Carmack denied that accusation during a Sunday interview with police, but she displayed numerous signs of deception and distraught. Carmack said, "I don't remember and it doesn't matter," when investigators asked if she had anything to do with Skylia's disappearance. It doesn't matter? When asked directly if she killed Skylia, Carmack stared at the detective. On Tuesday, Carmack took and failed a polygraph test. Then, just after midnight Wednesday, she walked into the Gas City Police Department and asked to speak with someone. When 2 investigators arrived, Carmack was sitting on the floor of the interview room sobbing. She would go on to admit to killing the young girl. She wouldn't explain why she killed her other than she was very angry. An autopsy found the girl had died of asphyxia due to strangulation, and her death was ruled a homicide. Yeah. Ugh. It just makes me sick. Makes me sick. Yep, exactly. Their brains aren't fully developed at that point. You can't lose your patience. You can't. You're not even supposed to spank out of anger. Spank. There's a lot of discrepancy about whether you should spank at all. I'm not against spanking. I'm not against a flat hand off, on the butt, you know, but you're not supposed to do that out of anger. You're supposed to do it as a method of discipline, and that's all. You're not supposed to do it out of anger so that it ends up getting out of control, which ends up being what a lot of people do. They'll do it out of anger rather than as a disciplinary method. Yeah, if you're that upset, you need to walk away and calm down and then come back. You never discipline out of anger like that. Yeah, you got to walk away and give yourself a timeout. Yes, you can. You can come back on. And it always made me upset when with my ex-husband, his, I would always try and deal with Ian in a way, I would I give him a timeout, or I would do this or I would do that. Whereas my ex-husband's first thing would be giving him a swat. And even though I am not against spanking the proper way, it doesn't have to be the first resort. I always used it as a last resort when I would try other methods first. And if those methods were not helping, he'll get a swat. And half the time I didn't even have to do it because I would threaten him with it and I'd be counting. I'd be like 1, 2, and he would fix the problem. So I rarely had to spank him, but it would be my ex-husband's first method of discipline. He wouldn't try anything else. And I'm like, you don't have to spank him for everything. You know, we can do this another way. Give him a timeout. He did want to please. He would make stupid mistakes, but he did want to please, even when he was that young. So he was always quick to fix a problem. I thought I just put it up. Yeah, I just put it up. Classic. Hello, how are you? Here, I'll put it up again for you. There we go. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Want some more formula? There you go. Oh, you like the formula? Yeah, sure do. But, when I was on that case, oh my gosh, it was so emotionally draining. Like, the case only lasted like 3 days, but it was so, the pictures we had to look at, hearing the details, it was awful. It was awful. I was so emotionally just done after that case.
Yeah, you calm down now, aren't
He's happier now.
you? Yes, he is. All right, so what I was talking about the Noah Tomlin case. I didn't know I was related to him at
Oh.
all. And it was very, very, very devastating. This, he was a toddler, may I remind you. He was 2 years old. His mother, Julia, all her kids are in foster care, and she's having she doesn't have any death charges against Noah, but we are 100% sure that she killed him. She killed the first one,
Mm.
and she was a mother of total of 9 to 11 kids. All her kids are in foster care. But when I found out recently I was related to Noah, I was like heartbroken and devastated.
Mm.
He went missing and he was found in NASA's steam plant. She threw him away.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really bad.
yeah,
He went
Todd,
missing for
the little boy that, because he was 2, the one that I was on the jury for, he was also 2. And the first people to try and help him were firefighters because the dad, the stepdad or whatever, live-in boyfriend, rather than calling 911, just ran a couple of blocks to the fire station in the neighborhood. And so the firefighters there had to try and do something because he was unresponsive. Um, but and from there, EMS was called and all of that, but he had passed away by the time they got to the hospital. But yeah, and they said it was awful. You know, we had a couple of, 1 or 2 of the firefighters had testified. Um, but yeah, it was awful. And that's what, like, they got to be very careful in cases like that in actually making the charge murder, because that's how a lot of people get upset when, juries will say, how can they not find that person guilty? And I used to think like that. But when you can't prove intent, you only know that it happened. He did kill him, but did he intend to kill him? That's the loophole. And if you can't prove that intent, you legally can't say guilty. So every single one of us on the jury knew he killed him, and we wanted to nail his ass to the wall. But because we couldn't say without a shadow of a doubt that as he was beating him, he meant to kill him, we couldn't say he was guilty. So it just enraged people. And it was upsetting to us too, because we wanted to be able to say it. But we could only find him guilty on domestic battery resulting in death. Physical abuse, whatever. That if they would have charged him with manslaughter or something like that instead of murder, it could have been, it's the thing that they chose to charge him with, that if you can't prove intent, we don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he did intend to do it, but we don't know because we weren't inside his head, and legally you can't do it. So it's awful. It's awful when you know somebody did it. You absolutely know they did it, and you want to get them for murder because they murdered him, but you can't
Hey,
prove that he meant it.
just giving you a heads up. If my phone decides to shut off again, it's because it's high temperatured.
Okay.
Other than that, it should be okay. Here he
All
is.
right. Hi, sweetheart. Oh.
I don't understand how anybody could hurt their own young. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
really
get it.
no
I don't
sense.
get it.
Every time I look at Hunter, all he does is want to kiss his face and love him.
Exactly. Hey, Trevor. I know, but remember, in the last part of my video last night, I did say I'm leaving myself open to random streams, and this morning I was like, I feel like streaming. So this is my first random.
Yay, he's actually falling asleep again. Oh, let me
Yay!
wake him up.
And I also wanted to show off the new baby because I did trade in Lacey. I brought little escape artist Lacey back to work, and sadly she will become a feeder. It'll probably be a while before she gets, if she gets chosen sooner than later, it'll be a total fluke because there are a lot of little babies in there. But I brought her home. She is super, super little, super, super young, like younger than any of them. I'm still giving her some formula supplement because she's so little. And her name is Luna.
There we go.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be able to be even like Child Protective Services, because when Child Protective Services visits a home and see, like, I can't even imagine, like, because they have certain guidelines they have to follow too. And in the case that I was involved with on the jury, um, Child Protective Services had visited the home twice, but they didn't remove him from the home. There were certain reasons why they didn't or couldn't. And I can only imagine how it eats at them that it resulted in his death because he wasn't removed.
I had social services called on me a couple days ago.
We've had it called on us too. We had it called on us by my stepdaughter twice. Um, but they dismissed it because they knew that she was making things up. But yeah.
You know, it's funny because when the social worker came and saw Hunter and did a check-in, because somebody at first called the cops, and Matt, Hunter, and I were not home, and the report said that I left Hunter alone.
What?
Yeah,
Who would have done that? Who would have called?
we have an idea on who may do it, but it hasn't been proven because they won't tell us who called or who made the report.
Yeah, it's anonymous. So yeah. That's sad.
I was mad. Like
I
it
bet.
got
It was
angered.
upsetting to us when we would not get a knock on the door and there's a lady standing there that we don't know, and she's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm from Child Protective Services," and we're like, "What?" Like it's
It has to be someone from the apartment complex because they knew. Okay, so Matt and I were riding bikes, and we had the door open, and I would ride off. Matt would stay by the door, and then he'll ride off.
huh.
Aww.
Yeah, she is going to be a lot better than Lacey. Lacey was very hand shy, and I was afraid she was going to get away with this. She's so young that all she does is just chill here, and I want to handle her a lot, so she's just going to be very, very friendly. And yeah, look at the baby face. Look at your baby face.
And then we'll take turns riding the bikes. Like one will go down the road, the other one will stay by the door, and vice versa. Well, I never go too far from the apartment anyways, especially if I go outside to smell my off my e-cigarette because, well, I used to smoke cigarettes until I found out I was pregnant with him, and then I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would smoke on and off throughout my pregnancy. But I mean, I was very, very under stress though.
Yeah, I agree, JJ. It is messed up. Yeah.
And when they called,
It's wasting resources. Those people could be, going to calls for other places that they're really needed. And yeah.
when the social worker came up, he looked at me and he was like, "I don't understand what the problem is. He seems healthy. He seems okay. Like you have everything you need. Why now did they make the call?"
Yeah.
But the social worker asked if I had any mental issues because somebody in the report said I was a unstable mother and also an unfit mother.
Oh,
I was
jeez.
mentally unstable and I was unfit. Excuse me?
He looks pretty healthy to me. How are you unfit?
Because I don't properly take care of him. But yeah, I change his diaper every time when he needs it changed,
Yeah.
which he
You're not
does not.
neglecting him. You're doing everything you need to do for him.
All right, my phone went off again.
All right. Oh, there she goes. She's freezing now. Get Luna to do some tricks. She's so young yet. All she does is sit here. I've got a formula supplement here in this lid that she's drinking. She likes it. I'm going to give her some high protein foods so she can get big and strong. Yeah, she's like the smallest one I've brought home yet. Like, out of all of the babies that were in the bin, she stood out to me because she was so tiny. Oh, I bet you did, Todd. That's awful. Even just being, I don't know how a judge handles all of that all the time. Like, I said to the judge afterwards when the case was over and she came in to talk to us, I was like, I don't know how you go through this like daily, like seeing everything that we saw all the time. I literally, when they pulled up pictures of that little boy, um, autopsy pictures, and like they were very graphic. I thought I was going to be sick. Like I was squirming in my seat because I thought I was going to throw up. It was awful. And then just, there were a couple of times, like even afterwards, because we couldn't read news reports during the case, but I was going back and reading them when the case was over. And one of the reports said the jury was visibly shaken. And and I think that was around the time when they were showing autopsy reports and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh yes, we were. Because it was a very, very disturbing. I don't know how, like, I can't imagine seeing stuff like that on a daily basis. I would be screwed up. I would be screwed up. Yeah, she is tiny. She is definitely very, very small. Hey, Tom, how are you doing? I'm getting kisses, huh? Am I getting kisses? I am. I'm doing good, Tom. How are you? It's cooling down. I don't even know what the temperature is here right now. I gotta check. I gotta check. A little bit. Well, it looks like the sun is out, but the curtain is closed, so I can't really tell. 68 degrees right now. I kind of like that. I like it. It's supposed to go up to 75 today. Sun sets at 8 o'clock now. I hate that we're losing the sun earlier. Used to be like after 9. Could tell that the year is winding down when it starts to get dark earlier again. I'm back, got lost in the fish room. Well, I've been waiting to ask you a question, Vanessa. Um, Zach said that his tank, I'm assuming that's got Sarge in it, has a leak in the seal. So he's wondering where to get the stuff to reseal his tank. I have never had to reseal a tank, so I don't know. And I'm really hoping that 55 is going to be okay. I'll probably Monday, I've got the day off. So I'll probably start emptying out of all the stuff that it's holding, um, and fill it with some water and see how it holds it, and then start cleaning it out after. I'm not going to clean it all out and then discover that it won't hold water. I'm going to fill it dirty and all, fill it with water and see what happens. Yeah, I like the cooler weather where it warms up during the day, but it's nice and cool and crisp in the morning. Pure silicone, 100% pure silicone. Google Assistant is, I used to have ads popping up all the time. I don't know why I don't anymore, but I also don't know why, because it used to be every morning when I would live stream, my computer would freeze for 5 minutes. But it doesn't do that now. I don't know. 71 degrees in Michigan for you. Yeah, it's going to go up to 75 today, it says. But right now it's right below 70. So yay. I might have to turn on the AC in here already though, because I'm warm. It is warm in here. There's something flashing out there. See the flash every now and then? I think it's when cars are driving by. The cat is in the curtain again. She likes to make the curtain a hammock and lay in there. Not really. I work in the kennel, so usually the people previous, there will usually be a load of laundry in process or ready to be put into the dryer, or um, a load of in the dryer that's done that I got to pull out and put away. Sometimes they've got dishes there that they got to get done, like some food dishes, dogs' food dishes that were dirty or whatever, that are waiting for me. Um, the floor usually has some stuff all over it, but that's to be expected, like food kibble, like getting strewn about or whatever. Um, but I take care of that at the very end of the night, so it's not too bad. I find that coming in first thing in the morning is the most stressful, because when you come in first thing in the morning, the first thing you got to do is feed everybody, and then you got to go through every single kennel and clean them out because they've all pooped overnight. That's the most stressful. When I come in for my closing shift, um, not everybody has pooped. They've been recently cleaned up or whatever. Sometimes I'll go into um, the isolation room and one of the dogs has pooped, but that's one kennel to clean out as opposed to 20 kennels. You know, so I find that closing shifts are actually easier um, than coming in first thing in the morning. But usually, first thing in the morning, everything is clean, aside from the kennels where everybody is pooped, but all the dishes are done and put away, all the laundry is done, and usually at most there is laundry sitting in the dryer waiting to be put away. But there's nothing that needs to be washed usually. The floor has been swept and mopped, things like that. It seems like every job I've ever had, there is just pure warfare between first and second shift. Um, there have been occasions where I'll leave at the end of the night and I'll realize I forgot to do something, and I'm like, oh Lord, the opening person's going to be so mad at me. I forgot to do this. And then there are times when I've come in and I'll be like, the person that left didn't fill up the water cooler, because we have reverse osmosis water for the dogs, and we'll fill up the big cooler of that. So that's there for me to fill up their bottles and all of that. And this one person has a tendency to not refill it. So the first thing I got to do before I can fill up anybody's water bottle is go and fill up the water cooler. And that irritates me. So sometimes there's that. Hey, Dan, how are you doing? The picture that MSA sent me. Oh, okay. So yeah, I missed another comment. I'm not perfect. Yeah, I'll send it to you, Zach. Save. There you go, Zach. Sending it to you in Hangouts. Well, that's good that I've got a picture of it now if I need it. Stinks like vinegar. It doesn't happen too often. There was one time that we had somebody like looking at the hamsters and they just kind of put it in their pocket and walked off. And then we realized later the hamster is not in the enclosure. So it happens sometimes, but not really too much because we have locks on a lot of the enclosures where you need a key to get in. Um, so they're not accessible to the average person. Um, we do sometimes have to tell because when we have dogs on the floor rather than in the wall where they're locked, there's a couple of larger kennels that where you can lift the thing and reach in. And we have to tell people sometimes, do not do that. I mean, if you want to pet the dog, you need to ask somebody and we'll open it. And, we're standing there when you're doing that. We're not leaving you unattended with the dog because the last thing we need is for somebody to lift the dog out and walk off, you know? But, and the rats and that, they're all in the back room kennel where only employees are allowed to be. So that, there's no theft of feeders or anything like that. It's only the pets on the floor. But for the most part, if the salespeople do their job correctly, all of the enclosures are locked, with the exception of the birds. The birds aren't locked, but we just kind of have to make sure that they know not to open the cages and take the birds out. Because we also have had birds escape and fly around the store. Hey, Grace, how are you? Hamster robbery, third-degree felony charge. Yeah, and right now we do have like tiny little hamster babies. They're not even old enough to be sold yet. They've got a couple more days. And they're tiny, so it would be so easy to reach in and just pick one up and walk off with it. You'd never know that they have it. Um, so and those hamsters in particular are not locked up. They're just in a tank on the table near where the kennel is. And there is a sign on it that says, if you want to handle us, ask a salesperson, and they'll allow you to hold them because they want them handled because they'll be friendlier, but they don't want people doing it unattended and all of that. So I hate when animals end up being on sale to the point where they're so cheap because then, they're impulse bought. That's what happened around Christmas time, right before Christmas. Guinea pigs were on sale at PetSmart. And like every pet store in town, when I was actually looking for a guinea pig for a buddy for the one that I had, I couldn't find guinea pigs anywhere because every PetSmart was sold out. Everybody else was sold out. There weren't any at the animal shelter. There were the city had no guinea pigs. I was like, holy crap. And my husband said, just wait. These guinea pigs were on sale. Just wait. Too many people are buying them that don't know how to take care of them or whatever, or they're going to get sick of them and whatever. And lo and behold, 2 months later, there were like 13 guinea pigs at the animal shelter. So I hate that animals will get put on sale to the point where they're so cheap that they'll be impulse bought. It's harder to impulse buy something expensive, but when they're that cheap, it's way too easy to impulse buy and then they don't get taken care of. I'm in the US. I actually um, grew up in Canada. I was born and raised in Canada. But in 99, I moved to the US. So, an edit button. Hello. You probably want to go to sleep, huh? Want some more formula? Oh, she likes that formula. But we've actually had people even impulse buying puppies, and the puppies are really expensive. We have people that get so huffy, they'll call and they'll ask if we have a certain kind of dog. Yes, we do. How much is it? We'll tell them, and they're like, and they hang up. I'm like, you're calling a pet store. We're not an animal shelter. We're not like you're purchasing a dog. They came from breeders where breeders charge enough as it is, and the store is actually buying them from the breeder. They're purchased from the breeder by the store. And then of course the store needs to make a profit because they're also putting money into these puppies to take care of them. Vet visits, just feeding them in general, medications, all that stuff like that. That's where the higher cost comes in. And they're so put off by the cost. And I'm like, well, go to the animal shelter then, or go to a rehoming site. Don't get all huffy with us because you don't like the cost of the dog. You know, I don't even know. Exactly. Christmas guinea pigs turn into February shelter animals. And the same thing with rabbits. Easter rolls around, rabbits get bought up. And then, I can't tell you how many times I've seen like 10 rabbits at the animal shelter. I actually did discourage somebody. Her young son, looked like he was maybe 8 years old, wanted a rabbit, like was begging her for a rabbit. And she was kind of open to it. But then I was like, they're social animals. You need to have two. Um, they need large enclosures. So I told her what the minimum requirement was for an enclosure, and that was already starting to put her off because they require a lot of space. Then I was like, they need to have hay 24/7, and hay can get pricey, and blah 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 blah. And if they don't have, they're susceptible to certain illnesses, and this and that and this and that. And at that point, she told her son, no rabbits. You know, I want, rabbits make great pets, but they are a lot of work and they are expensive. So I wanted her to be aware of this before she decided that she was going to get her son a rabbit, you know? And at that point, knowing all that, she was like, you know what? That's not a good idea. Yep, people want free, free, free. Yeah, the price does go down the longer the puppies are there. We have a Pomsky right now that is $900. She's the cheapest one that we have. She's $900, but we've had her for a few months. She's about 4 months old now, maybe almost 5 months old. So she's getting on the cheaper side because we've had her longer. I'm surprised we have her as long as we have because she's cute and she's very sweet. But we still have her, so her price has dropped. Yep. We have had a couple that when we get them, they're already older, so their price is cheaper because they're older. We had a Japanese chin that was already almost 6 months old. So right off the bat, he was like $600. He was never above 1,000 when we got him because we got him as an older puppy. He was probably transferred from somewhere else. We had a Shetland sheepdog that we got when he was nice and small and whatever, and now he's bigger and getting older. And Friday he got transferred. We weren't selling him, nobody wanted him, and he got transferred. So he's going to be sold at a cheaper price at another location. It's just what happens. So you're either going to get an older puppy for cheaper, or you're going to go somewhere else and get a dog that's not a puppy at all. If you're wanting one of these puppies from the store, you're going to be paying for it. There's going to be a warranty that you're getting. There's, And the whole time that these puppies have been with us, we're caring for them at our cost. So they got to understand that. Oh, I'm warm. Yeah, and the funny thing is, a lot of these people will come in and play with these puppies, and then they freak out when they've pooped in the petter or or they've peed, or oh, this one is too nippy and too this one's too hyper, or we want to see a calm one of the calm ones, and we're like, you realize these are all babies. They're all going to get hyper. They're all going to put their teeth on you. It's just they're teething. That's just the way it is. If you don't understand that, you don't deserve a puppy. It's gonna happen. This lady, she got we had our two Valley Bulldogs, um, that now we've sold, but we got yesterday another Valley Bulldog, and she happened to come from the same breeder, and her parents are the same. So she is a sibling of the two that we just sold. So she's a little older because we didn't get her when we got the others. Um, but we actually had somebody buy the male. We had a male and a female, and we sold them. And they were like, the girl sold first, and then just a few days ago, we sold the boy. And they were like, if we still had the girl, they would have got her too. They would have bought both of them. We're like, oh, you were slow. But now we've got this new Valley Bulldog that is a literal sibling, same litter. So we're like, oh, maybe we should call them and they could come in and check her out. But somebody came in and played with her and started complaining. They came up to one of the salespeople and was like, she tore me to shreds and held like she was like complaining that she was very bitey or whatever. She tore me to shreds and she held up her finger and she was like, there was this little spot. She tore you to shreds. If I was standing out there and she told me she tore me to shreds, I would have been like, where? Where'd she get you? Like, if she tore you to shreds, I should be able to see this, like, plain as day. Like, really? She tore you to shreds? She's a puppy. She's teething. She's excited. It, she's not tiny. She's a bigger dog. She's like a Valley Bulldog is a boxer English Bulldog mix. So they're not small dogs. She tore me to shreds. I'm like, this person doesn't deserve a puppy. Like, seriously? You know how many scars I have? I have a scar right here from a cat that scratched me. I've got scars where, dogs' teeth have scratched me or I've been bitten or whatever. You know how many scars I have? And it's just another day at work because they're babies. It's gonna happen. Yes, people are ignorant. Definitely. And then there are going to be people that come in and they're tapping on the glass or there were people before we sold our last Valley Bulldog. They were sitting around his kennel and blowing on him, and I about went off. I was gonna be like, "Can I put you in there and blow in your face?" Like, they're not exhibits. They're babies. Treat them like they're babies. They're not toys. They're not. You're not supposed to do that. And these were teenagers. I'm like, you guys know better. Why would you sit there and people are already complaining they're getting aggressive when they're being played with in the petters. Well, you know why? Because people like that are being stupid and riling them up. That's what they're babies. That's what they're learning, how to respond to people. Mm, I get really worked up about that. Yep, puppies play. That's what they do. So yeah, it just irritates me the way that people treat. And I'm like, even yesterday, I was feeding some of the dogs. It was getting closer to close, and there were some older boys out there, and I could hear, this. And I'm like, they are totally knocking on the glass. Like they're like I want to just open up because I can open up the kennel from the other side, and I want to just talk to them through the glass. And I'm like, don't do that. Do not tap on the glass. You're not supposed to even do that to a fish tank. Why do you think you can do it to a puppy? Especially when they're trying to sleep. Like they want to get their attention, you know? If they're trying to sleep, let them sleep. Mm. People, I just want, there are sometimes, I'm glad that I work in the kennel and not as a salesperson out on the floor because there'd be so many people I'd want to smack. There's people I want to smack when I work in the kennel. But if I worked out there, hi. If I worked out there and I had to be around people all the time, I'd be smacking people because they're so ignorant. It's okay, Lisa. Hey, Mrs. Hopkins, how are you? But yeah, people just, that's why I'm glad I work with the puppies because I don't have to deal with the public very often. Like there's sometimes when I have to come out onto the sales floor and somebody will ask me a question or somebody will ask me if they could see a puppy or, you know, whatever. But for the most part, I'm hidden in the back dealing with the puppies alone and I don't have to deal with the people. But then I hear some of the salespeople come back into the kennel and then they're ranting. And then I feed off of them because I get irritated by what they're telling me these people are doing or saying, and it irritates me. Yep. What you doing? Where are you going? Where are you going? Don't fall off. You tickle. It tickles. Yes, exactly. Same. Animal. I like animals better than people. For sure, for sure. Oh, that's good, Mrs. Hopkins. What movie did you see? It's always better when the husband is in a better mood. I was 14 years old. I understood that I loved animals more than people. I learned what unconditional love was. Yep, unconditional love from the animals. Exactly. Yeah, little rat toes. It chapter 2. Ooh, I don't know if I want to see that or not. I did watch I did watch the remake of It. I've seen the original and then I did watch the remake. The remake is creepier. I don't know if I want to see the second one yet. I'm not big on horror movies, and it depends on the kind of horror movie. Like that horror Us, I don't know if I want to see. I think it would creep me out too much. Um, there are certain ones that I just can't watch. Oh, I still liked Lacey. I just wanted to have, you know, one that was more personable, one that could hold, that I wouldn't have to worry, that would squirm out of my fingers and run away. You know, that's the only reason why Lacey went back, because she wasn't fitting in with my expectations, I guess. And she's young enough that she can learn. I mean, Lacey was young enough that she can learn too. She was just very hand shy to start. Um, Usually, any of the ones that I picked before would show signs of not being hand shy when I would get them, and I kind of skipped that step with Lacey, so that was kind of my fault. Oh, I don't like I hate when people vomit on movies. Can't stand it. Like, fine, have them off camera making the noises so that you kind of get the idea that's what's going on. But I don't like to see people vomiting. Nope, don't like it. Life can be horrifying itself. I don't want to watch it in my spare time, right? That's a good way to look at that. I agree. What you doing? Huh? Hello, snobby scrap picker. I have actually seen you around. Not in mine, obviously, because you said you were new, but I have seen you in, you've been in Canadian Scrappers, I think. So I've seen you there. But welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes, comedy, dramas. All right, Trevor, have a good day. Say bye, Luna. Bye bye. Bye bye. I gotta turn on the AC. It's not even that warm outside, but it is hot in here. Kind of funny. Maybe that happens to other people who try to bring the animal back when they find out they can't do that, then they probably take them to the shelter. Yeah. See, in most cases, if I find that an animal isn't compatible, I will rehome. Um, I could have rehomed her, I guess, but she would have been really hand shy with anybody. So I just decided to swap her out, take her back to work, put her back in the bin, pull a new one out. Yeah, I mean, there have been people that actually have purchased dogs from our store. And I'm like, this is why, at least when you come to the store, hang out with them, come back another day, hang out with them, come back. And, there were people that came several times to hang out with a certain puppy before they decided to purchase it. They brought their own dogs in so that they can meet them, and that kind of thing. But we've had a person actually purchase a dog. You got to, get the financing and everything because they're that expensive. Purchase the dog and then return them the next day. And it's like, you didn't even give that dog a chance. Like, poor thing. No, they didn't make me pay for the new one since I put the one that I paid for back in the bin and just swapped them out. So yeah, I didn't have to pay for her. Which is easier with a feeder. But there was one of the salespeople yesterday. She was like, "There's these people. They were coming in for pet rats. They wanted some pet rats. They wanted to pick. I think they only picked one. They had one at home, and they wanted to pick another one so that they would have a friend. But this salesperson, she goes, not that long ago, I sold rats to them. They got a but, and they had like 4 or 5 rats. She goes, now they're saying they only have one. What happened to all the other ones?" And I'm like, I don't know. Um, Maybe they were sick. I don't know. Hopefully they're taking care of them properly. I don't know if they rehomed them, and I mean that's their business, I guess. If they all died, that would be a little weird. Yes, I did have a rat death, but I didn't have all of mine dying. Um, I don't know, but they did buy another rat, so it's like, okay. Trying not to be judgmental because, you don't know the behind the scenes of why. I do have a bruise on my shoulder. You see that? Last week, I smashed it into the corner of one of the kennel doors, and it is bruised. Hey, Bone Dancer, how are you? Have you had gerbils before? I've had a gerbil years ago. We do have some young gerbils at work right now, and I'd love to get a couple of them. They're super cute. But yeah, it's been years since I've had a gerbil, and when I did have the gerbil, I kept it wrong. I kept it completely wrong. Now I know how to take care of them, so I would I would love to have them again. You look like you're gonna go to sleep. I get bruises in my sleep and don't know how to get. Yeah, there are times that I've got bruises and I'm like, where did that come from? I've actually just got rid of a bruise that was over here. I'm sure it's from the dogs beating me up when I'm handling them. But this definitely was from smacking it into the corner of one of the kennel doors on the corner. It still hurts. And that was a week ago. And it did break the skin a little bit. But now it's mostly bruised. Yep, they got to chew a lot because they got to wear down those teeth. Hamsters, rabbits, rats, they all got to chew to wear down those teeth. The rats, at least, and probably for the rabbits, they would do the same thing. But if by chance their teeth get overgrown because they don't have enough to chew, the vet, at least where we take our rats, they charge $10 to do a teeth trim. So that's not too bad. I bump into stuff a lot too. I get bruises on my legs, on my knees. I've had bruises, like I've had a bruise here before, and I'm like, where did that come from? I don't know. No, I'm just a kennel tech at a pet store. I don't own it or anything, but I work there. It's a it's a chain, but it's a very small chain. It's just located in Indiana, and there's one location here in our city, and then there's three in Indianapolis, and that's where corporate is as well. So it's a smaller chain. You look tired. Yeah, I'm a bit of a klutz myself. I definitely am a klutz. I gotta turn on the AC, guys. Hang on. It is quite warm. Ooh, quite warm. All right. Yeah, did I get up and walk? What are we sniffing? What are we sniffing? Hi. Bar- Barat? Is that? I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your name. I am in Indiana in the US. There is good crazy, harmless fun, and bad crazy. Yes, definitely, definitely. Sorry. Do I like squirrel? I like squirrels. I like animals in general. I like squirrels. I don't have them as pets, but what you doing? You smell something. What you smell? Huh? You smell something. Are you leaving, Grace? I probably got squirrels living in my trees. I know I got like rabbits nearby. You just walked through your formula. You got little tiny rat prints on my table now. My rabbit had to have her teeth planed because she had a wonky jaw. Ooh. Oh wow. That's crazy. My rabbit has never had to have anything done with her teeth. Neither of mine did. Um, does your rabbit have hay all the time? Like they need hay 24/7. It helps to keep, well, I know you just said that her jaw is wonky, but hay 24/7 helps keep their teeth down and definitely things to chew on. Yeah, squirrels are cute. Squirrels are cute. Definitely baby ones are cute. The ones in Central Park look very well fed. Oh, you can fall. You have no depth perception, miss. Hmm. Oh, trust me, Grace. I have my moments at work when we sell a puppy that I've gotten attached to. Um, it just makes me sad. Um, the ones that are in isolation that don't get handled, you know, I'm sad for them. I get sad over when people are coming in for feeder animals like the rats or the mice, and if I myself have to pick them out, I'm like, I'm sorry, or I watch the salesperson do it, and I'll horn in. I'll be like, I'm sorry. I get attached. I get emotional too. Yeah, little treats every now and then. Yep. My rabbit's favorite treats are like she loves bok choy, she loves radicchio. She'll get a carrot every now and again. Carrots are high in sugar, so um, the whole misconception of carrots and rabbits, they shouldn't have that all the time because they're high in sugar. Fruits, but not all the time as a treat because they're high in sugar. Um, Definitely the leafy greens, cilantro, um, the bok choy, and the radicchio she loves. Okay, Zach. Oh, I'm getting kisses. And my rabbit is also in a very large enclosure. She's not in a typical rabbit cage. Typical rabbit cages are too small for any rabbit, unfortunately. I have an exercise pen or an X pen that is 4 feet each panel. Um, well, they're basically 4 feet, but it's 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet. It's 4 feet tall. Um, when it's set up, there's like 4 feet of space each way. Um, it's very large, and that's what she gets. That's what she gets. It is typically the minimum requirement for a rabbit so that they can have that running around exercise space because they love to be able to do binkies and just, hopping several times that they can't do in a normal size cage. Um, and they just love the space. Keeps them exercised. Yep, Shadow's sunbathing in her hammock. In her hammock. I think little Luna here wants to have a nap. She's looking drowsy. She's been really good. She's been just chilling here in my hand the whole time. Being to the SPCA for the first time when I was 16 is the reason why I started rescuing animals and being a foster doggy mom all these years because I can't help it. Yeah. See, and I would love to foster, but then I would get attached, and then I would cry when I'd have to give them up. The vet was very happy she lost weight last time she was checked. My bunny lives indoors and is well house trained. It was very That's good. Yeah, mine's in the house. She has a litter box that she uses. Um, I've never been told that someone's happy when the rabbit loses weight. They're supposed to be. I mean, they can't be overweight, but plump is definitely good. Um, you don't want them to lose too much weight. Cherry tomatoes are like candy. Yes, love me some cherry tomatoes. Salt, salt on a cherry tomato. Yes. You pressed my bell. Awesome. Thank you. She's gonna have a sleep. She's gonna go to sleep. It's so funny how I was like, this is gonna be just a quick random live, and it's been like over 2.5 hours. You're putting sugar on your tomatoes? I've never tried sugar on my tomatoes. You're making them unhealthy. That's why they like candy. I'll have to try sugar. I'll have to try sugar on my tomatoes. What do you think? Sugar on my tomatoes? What you think? Oh, yeah, exactly, Grace. If you keep them all, you can't get any more. Yeah, yeah. But see, my whole soft-heartedness is why there are so many rats in the house now. I mean, started out that my son had two, and then I had to get one, and then he had to get another one, and then I had to get a bunch more. So now There are a total of 9 rats in this house. He's got 4, I've got 5. Because I can't stop. Because I fall in love with their little faces. Yeah, I gotta stop it. Stop it. Your great grandma always put sugar on them. Yes, tomatoes dipped in ranch. Yes. I like mushrooms. I like mushrooms, definitely. I'm the only one. My husband and my son, well, my stepdaughter she likes mushrooms. So it's just me and her. My husband and my son do not like mushrooms. So I never get to enjoy my food with mushrooms if they're eating because I can't put them in. Yeah, she's got a little baby face. She's so young. Little baby. Yes. Little baby. Oh, little baby fish. Not the wacky mushrooms. All right, Grace. Have fun with your fur babies. You can always foster bone dancer. She's so sweet. She's not even in the hand shy phase yet because she is so little. Such a good little girl. All right, guys. Well, I have been on for nearly 3 hours. It's been like 2 hours and 48 minutes. And I meant for it to be like quick. But hey, she is probably barely 3 weeks old. I would say at most she's 3 weeks old. Um, Not very old at all. I'm giving her a supplement for a formula because I feel like that'll help her because of how young she is. Because I've brought other ones home that were super young that I said were like 3 weeks when I got them, but they were bigger than she was. So she could be like 2.5 weeks old for all I know. Like she's very young. And typically they shouldn't be weaned until 3 weeks. So that's why I want to give her the formula because she's so freaking little. But yeah, I feel like if Peanut survived, Peanut would probably be about her age, is what I'm thinking. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Everybody else has got things to do too. So thanks for coming in, all the new people. It was good to have you. Hope you come back. Hope you weren't bored. We talk a lot about pets here. Um, but yeah, so I've got some things to do. I need to give a salt bath to a little hummus over there and, feed the rabbit, feed the dogs, make sure the rats have food and water and all of that good stuff. So, yeah, I will talk with all of you later. I hope you have a great weekend and I will probably see you guys Monday. I will talk with you Monday. Have a great day, guys. Bye. Say bye, Luna.